So what's...
Thanks so much for joining us for Storm Watch. Coming up shortly, I'll talk to you a little bit about the snow and the cold weather out across the country. Right now, John Hope has the latest update on Mitch.
Thank you very much. It's moving out over the open Atlantic Ocean, and it's not all that far away from Florida yet, as you can see here at last advisory, which is at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It was 100 miles north of Grand Bahama Island. We still have out some warnings for the Bahamas, and even along the coast of Florida, tropical storm warnings are still out. And we see that this last hour, Titusville example, is still gusting to 40 miles an hour. But all those winds along the Florida coast have shifted to north. Dry air is pouring in there. The showers are just about over. It's going to be pretty windy here in the Bahamas, certainly throughout the afternoon, because the strongest winds may be on the south flank of the storm, because it's moving toward the east-northeast now at about 30 miles an hour. And so the winds are stronger on the southern semicircle than they are anywhere else. So I expect there in the northern Bahamas, we're not getting many reports from there that there's going to be pretty windy. And I believe that these warnings on the west coast of Cuba have been taken down. And of course, we would anticipate that all the warnings in the continental United States will be taken down this afternoon. So this has been quite a history of this storm. And of course, it's been one of the worst tragedies of this century, of course, in portions of Central America and Nicaragua and Guatemala and Honduras, El Salvador, all those countries. And so there's a lot to be done down there. The infrastructure in Honduras has been totally destroyed, and they're going to need a lot of help. And if you're inclined to do that, and are able to do that, and you want to, there's a lot of agencies, the Red Cross and others, that are going to be doing a lot of work there, and they could use all the help that they can get from all over the world. Now, looking at the satellite picture, here's the latest infrared picture, and you can see that the deep reds have all gone out to sea here and going pretty fast, about 30 miles an hour. This is going to ultimately be a threat, and very likely in 24 hours, a little better to Bermuda. Right now, the official track of the tropical storm Mitch brings it just north of Bermuda. And it may not be a tropical system. We see a lot of things about it today even that looks more like what we call a cold low or non-tropical low than it does tropical, in that it's not vertically stacked. On a tropical system, the winds aloft, as you go up in the atmosphere, the strongest winds are near the surface, but it tends to be vertical. Whereas in a non-tropical system, it tends to slant with height toward the northwest in this case, and that's just what this was doing. So it's not tropical. It could be dropped as a tropical system. We're not sure what the Hurricane Center will do on that, but even if it is, then the forecast will be taken over by the marine folks up in Washington. As we look at our satellite picture, here you can see that the showers, what few are left there, are departing very, very rapidly, and there's nothing else really in the tropics to be concerned about. Here we are on the 5th of November, and we would hope not to see any more tropical storms. We don't see a lot in November, and today we don't see anything out there that we think is a candidate for the next storm. So right now all is quiet except for Mitch, which is departing these shores very rapidly at about 30 miles per hour. Top winds up to 65 miles an hour. So that's the tropics, and now we'll turn you back to Rich.
All right, thanks, John. Always a pleasure to work with John Hope. Well, as we check out around the country today, pretty cold day today. We have a little bit of snow out there still. High pressure center still well to the north into Manitoba, Canada. Snow showers into Canada. A few light snow showers areas of the north. Most notably over toward Montana, back into Idaho, stretching into Oregon from Meacham back all the way over toward Harlowton, where it is snowing moderately in Montana. Here's the latest radar. Those are some moderate snow showers coming on down. Down the Snake River Valley, rain showers, and a variety depending on the elevation across Washington and Oregon. Most cases, this is rain, but if you head into the mountains, we're talking more about snow. Anywhere from Portland down the 5, scattered showers today, nothing terribly heavy. Much more about this, your forecast, and more about Mitch. That's coming up in about 3 minutes after your local forecast.
Mitch is just about a memory after spending the night streaming across Florida. An update plus a look at conditions nationwide on Weather Center after your local forecast. you spend any time in the cold, you should know Walls has clothes to keep you warm. We've been keeping active folks comfortable for over 50 years with clothes for winter's worst. Because we know the weather won't give you a break unless you take one. Walls, leading the way outdoors.
Walls quality outerwear is available at a retailer near you.
We decided to get a PC.
We?
But we didn't want to pay for a lot of fancy extras.
I wanted something that was really fast. I'm talking hypervelocity.
If I had a computer like at school, you could frame my report card.
At Gateway, what you want is what you get. That's the Yourware program.
Call 1-800-GATEWAY and we'll build a computer priced just for you.
Some thunderstorms and snow may be affecting the Pacific Northwest. We'll talk about that in a little bit greater detail coming up over the next couple of minutes in this edition of Storm Watch. Our first focus, however, will be on the area of the Atlantic and an improving picture. Now, Mitch has been downgraded to a extratropical feature. No longer do we have tropical storm warnings for areas of Florida and the Bahamas. Let me give you the details on Mitch, and what a checkered life this one has lived. It was a major hurricane sitting in the Caribbean, weakened, but still 4 to 5 days of rain has just about devastated central areas of Central America, and then it became a tropical storm again, zipped across southern Florida, brought out a little bit of severe weather with some tornadoes, not much of a storm surge, but heavy rainfall, and now is zipping along towards the east-northeast. Here's the particulars: 28.2 north, 76.8 to the, 9 to the west, and that's 100 miles north-northeast of Little Abaco Island, and 60-mile-an-hour winds moving east-northeast at 32 miles an hour. It's moving now, and usually you see this kind of speed once it gets on up in the northern latitudes. This one's just off the coast of Florida, but keep in mind the calendar is November, and the jet stream track is much quicker, a little bit farther to the south. Central pressure 992 millibars. Again, all the tropical storm warnings that were in effect for the east coast of Florida and through the Bahamas have been canceled. However, small craft should remain in port until the winds subside, until the seas subside as well. Satellite perspective of the area, even showing some fair skies on the west coast of Florida. A few lingering showers brushing the east coast, but the bulk of Mitch continues to pull well on and off towards the east-northeast and will continue moving in that general direction. In fact, it should be passing very close to Bermuda in the next 24 hours or so. Here once again you can see the cloudiness associated with Mitch and wrapping around. The bulk of the stronger thunderstorms are well on out in the Atlantic now. Even in the Bahamas, you're starting to see some sunshine peering through before sunset in that immediate area. Radar, and boy, this is a close-up radar estimation of the precipitation, and most of it across southern Florida from Fort Myers to Vero Beach southward. You can see the legend here, 4 to 5 inches of rain. Many locations, even around Pompano Beach, closer to 7 inches of rain before it was all said and done. The remnants are left over on the eastern seaboard of Florida from Daytona Beach, sliding on down the Kennedy Space Center. A few rain droplets around Vero Beach. That should wind down. You should be able to see that almost full moon tonight and across even eastern areas of Florida later on. Also, we're monitoring as Mitch pulls on off. Again, should be passing very close to areas of Bermuda. The rest of the Gulf of Mexico fairly quiet. The Caribbean, we're watching this particular little cluster of showers and thunderstorms kind of left over branch just south of Cuba. And also this area east of the Lesser Antilles, not well organized, but we'll keep an eye on it, that clump of thunderstorms as well as it continues to move on off towards the west. Where are we in the tropical season? We've now pushed into November, right about in here. So again, as far as looking at the opportunity for hurricanes to be visiting anywhere in the Atlantic basin, pretty well drops off the board as we move into the cooler times of the year, and also the sheer emphasis going on in the upper levels of the atmosphere is much more dramatic as we move in towards November. Currently, we've still got some High pressure in the midsection of the country, but some rain and mountain snows in the western states. Snow in the Cascades, snow in the Sawtooth Range, and also in the Wasatch. But rain in the valley areas of southern Idaho and west of the Cascades in Washington and Oregon. Still showing up from Seattle down to around Olympia. From the Dalles all the way back into around Salem and Eugene. A closer look into Idaho, still finding a few showers here along Interstate 84. Arching on up into the Blue Mountains of Oregon, picking up a little bit of light snow above 4,500 feet, and that should pile up a few more inches. More along the Bitterroot Chain in the Tetons. Several inches are expected there. Temperatures are nippy. We're talking about some 20s in the northern plains. 40s dropping all the way down the central United States with wind chills on down into the 30s, even as far south as Atlanta. Feels like 34. Bundle up, stick around for Weather Center.
Mitch is just about a memory after spending the night streaming across Florida. An update plus a look at conditions nationwide on Weather Center after your local forecast.
Hi, Jill. This is Tom at Family Pharmacy. How's your baby doing?
His fever's down, but he's still not taking any fluid.
Family Pharmacy is your neighborhood pharmacy, just around the corner.
Well, fluids are very important.
We're more than just quality products and knowledgeable pharmacists. We're a good friend you can count on, anytime.
Is that Mom?
No, it was our family pharmacist.
Family Pharmacy.
Look for the Family Pharmacy store near you.
Put your heart rate in the zone.
Cover miles without leaving home.
Trim down, firm up. Treadmills from Sears, starting at just $3.99. No other indoor exercise equipment burns calories faster, and no one sells more treadmills.
Into tight spaces, and the ratcheting action gets the job done in no time. The Craftsman Quick Wrench can be used almost anywhere, in the garage, in the yard, and in your home. No toolbox is complete without a Quick Wrench set. And because it's a Craftsman hand tool made in America, it's guaranteed forever.
Call now to order your set of 6 Craftsman Quick Wrenches in standard or metric for only $19.99 plus shipping and handling. Use your Sears card or the credit card and call 1-800-750-2112. Call right now.
Right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
Remnants of Tropical Storm Mitch have left Florida, fortunately, but not before socking many areas of the Sunshine State with soggy weather and several tornadoes, and there were injuries, too. We'll have an update. Good evening. Welcome to Weather Center. I'm Dave Schwartz.
And I'm Warren Madden. Later on in the segment, a look at how the hurricane season affected the Red Cross. But first, I suggest you keep your coats, hats, and gloves close to the door. It's going to be a chilly night out there. Here's the situation. High pressure is dominating the situation from the Rockies eastward as what's left of Mitch heads off very quickly to the northeast off the coast of Florida. But that high is a chilly high, and as if the temperatures weren't bad enough, you didn't even have the sun in many places to help warm things up. Why? Lots of clouds around with that high pressure and nothing to sweep those clouds away. Remember spending time in Dayton, Ohio in November where it seemed like the sun never came out almost for the entire month. Hopefully it won't be that bad, but we are looking at a lot of clouds around in the eastern United States, and temperatures right now are in some places quite cooler than they were this time last night, particularly here in the southern United States. 7 degrees cooler in Atlanta, 12 degrees cooler in Jackson, 15 degrees cooler in New Orleans, so some cool air around. Let's take a tour of the country and I'll show you what's going on. Major cities in the Northeast in the 40s right now, but you head away from the coast, you quickly drop off into the 30s, and that's the actual air temperature. You add in the effects of that wind, the wind chill, and it is most certainly not a night to be going out without a hat or even without gloves out there, because it feels like it's in the mid-30s in New York and Boston and in the 20s around Rochester, New York. Midwest, same kind of story. Not that warm a night in Chicago at all at 39. We're already into the 20s in the Red River Valley. With the effects of the wind chill, it feels like it's 12 degrees right now in International Falls and 26 in Chicago. Not quite as bad in the southeast, but still much cooler than many people might care for here. 45 in Atlanta and Jackson. You have to head farther south before you get into the 60s. Miami, one of the few places in the eastern U.S. where we see temperatures in the 70s at 71. But Atlanta, it was cool all day, really. Take a look. Not exactly the sunny, nice weather that you'd like, perhaps. As you bundled it up and trudged downtown, you saw temperatures today only 53 for a high. It's about 12 degrees below average, so keep those jackets handy. Could be another cool one tomorrow. Western U.S., if you want warm weather, head to the southwest. 72 in Phoenix right now, 68 in Las Vegas, but still on the cool side in the northwest, 47 in Seattle. That's where we also have some of our wet weather tonight, the western United States. Let's talk about precipitation now. Here's Dave.
That's right, Warren. Let's talk about precipitation. If all it took were clouds, it would have been raining or snowing everywhere. We were sucked into the clouds from Detroit today to Oklahoma City, to Atlanta, as you saw, to Pittsburgh. But aside from a sprinkle in Pittsburgh, there was no precipitation there anywhere. The front and the tropical system are offshore here in the east, leaving high pressure in its wake. There's the storm in the west. That's where the precipitation is. Checking dew points, they're still pretty high, relatively speaking, here in Florida. But since the tropical storm is offshore, what once was a tropical storm is offshore, and the front has now cleared the Keys, it is dry here in Florida. Still cloudy, Daytona Beach, down toward Titusville, Fort Pierce, Fort Lauderdale, and Miami, but skies will clear out later on tonight. We see some of that cooler air at low levels blowing in over the Gulf of Mexico. Those cloud streets are indicative of that. And it's good news, these clear skies, but of course, look at all the rain that fell here thanks to Tropical Storm Mitch. That's the same tropical system that did in Nicaragua and Honduras. Fortunately, it's now out over the open waters of the Atlantic. This rain fell earlier, as did this. The only precipitation falling now, except for a spritz in Ithaca and in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, is right here in the west. That's where a storm is spinning out here over the Gulf of Alaska. Little pieces of energy, pieces of the storm are coming in. There's one in here right now. There's another one ready to come on shore, and we've got coastal and valley rain showers and then some mountain snows. And there's a thunderstorm in progress right now in Delta, Utah. And we'll see rain change to snow as that cold front heads toward Salt Lake City and skiers' delight. I-84, though, up through the Blue Mountains here in northeastern Oregon, there's 4 to 5 inches of snow. So make sure that you are prepared for wintry weather. Well, that's a look at a relatively quiet pattern across the country right now. But what changes are in store for tomorrow? Payday. I'll be back with a look at your forecast after this.
Parts of the southeast are still reeling from the devastation of Hurricane George. One agency that comes to the aid of hurricane victims is the American Red Cross. Dennis Smith talked today with their president, Elizabeth Dole, on what this hurricane season has meant to the organization.
The 1998 tropical season may not go down in history as one of the most active, but it will go down as one of the most devastating, with the loss of life and also the loss of property. Joining us today to discuss that matter is the president of the American Red Cross, Elizabeth Dole. Mrs. Dole, thank you so much for joining us on the Weather Channel today.
Thank you, Dennis. It's my pleasure.
And it has been quite a season, especially with Hurricanes Bonnie, George, and Mitch. Would you like to elaborate how the Red Cross has been involved with those?
Well, it's been just incredible. In fact, since January, the Red Cross has been involved in disaster relief efforts in 238 major disasters. About 300,000 families affected, 200,000 homeless in our shelters, and certainly with serving over 3 million meals and about 75,000 mental health or crisis counseling sessions. This has been an enormous year in terms of relief efforts. With Hurricane George, it's really incredible. This, if you imagine a path of destruction from New York to Omaha, 40 miles wide, that's what we're looking at in terms of the breadth of the disaster relief efforts in George. It will be the most expensive effort in Red Cross history in 117 years. And of course with Mitch, when you look at Honduras, it's incredible. 7,000 people have died. They have about 600,000 homeless there. It's been a disastrous season, and that's why we need people to help us. 1-800-HELP-NOW for the Disaster Relief Fund and for these and other disasters.
We'll have more of Dennis Smith's interview with Elizabeth Dole in our next hour. Now let's take a look at that payday forecast. Here's Dave.
Here we go, Warren. I'll tell you what, why don't you just kind of slip me that paycheck a little early tonight, huh? Then we'll get to the forecast. What's that? Do the forecast, Dave? Shut up about the pay? Okay, I got it. I got you covered, babe. Hey, storm-free, much of the country. There goes that latest batch of moisture provided by the tropical storm. We're left with some low clouds in Pittsburgh and Abilene, Texas, Omaha, Nebraska, but no precipitation falling. And even if something does, it'll just be a spritz or a flurry here and there. High pressure will be in control for you on Friday. Waiting out for the bus, just bundle up in Cleveland. Skies will be cloudy. That's it. Wind will not be a factor. Snow also will not be a factor. But with high pressure heading southward and skies clearing in parts of the Tennessee River Valley and Mississippi River Valley, Missouri River Valley, we're going to have to protect our plants, our pets, and Pop-Pop if he's still outside running around somewhere. Here in the Northeast, it has been cold. It's going to stay cold right on through the weekend. It's bundle up time. The mittens, the scarf, all those Christmas presents we got last year coming in handy now as the cedar closet is wide open, huh? Here in the Southeast, same story. 51 in Tampa tonight. That's bone-chilling cold for us in the Bay Area. 65 here in Dade County. We'll be in the 60s shortly. Houston at 45. Chicago at 31. Lander at 26. Las Vegas at 47. It is chilly. And most of the precipitation tomorrow will fall in the form of snow. High temperatures, you got to head way down there for shirt sleeve weather.
Coming up, find out if you'll see any wind or rain during your travels.
Details are ahead on TravelWise after your local forecast.
Right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.